Hey everybody, told you I'd be back. So one of the things that I don't know, I don't think I've actually told this story on here. About my current house. So when my wife and I met, I was renting. There's two hunting dogs right by the interstate. I hope they don't get pancaked. When I first met my wife, I was renting from my parents the house that I had grown up in. Well, my wife and I, we had been wanting out of the city for a while. She had a house that was well outside city limits when we met, and her circumstances changed rapidly. And she could no longer keep the house. Well, fast forward, we get married, we're living in that same house. Stayed there for 3 years, I think. Around that. 3.5 years. And then we moved. Shortly before we moved, my dad had passed away. And he and my mother were living in a house that was my grandparents'. Well, shortly after my dad died, the house caught fire. Well, my dad couldn't get a lot of life insurance money. He had pre-existing health problems. The house was insured at an agreed value, and it was underinsured because when my dad got the house, the housing market was at the very bottom during the housing bubble. So he had it insured for what it was worth at the time, not what it would actually cost to rebuild it. He had roughly half the insurance he needed. House caught fire. Mom put out a claim against the house, and there wasn't enough money. So my mother, wife, and I concocted a plan, and we would add a little bit onto the house where my family and I could move down there too. And we built a mother-in-law suite on the back of the house, and my mom absolutely loves the layout of the place. I like it. But anyway, we concocted this idea, hired a contractor that I still know, I still like the guy. I see him every once in a while. He's a really nice guy. I think the world of him. And then county codes and code enforcement started getting involved. They knew the house had burned down. Well, they come out there and see this contractor ripping apart this old house, and it quickly escalates into something far more frustrating than just a house fire. When the house was built, it was built on a full concrete foundation basement. We already had the septic system in the ground. The place was equipped with a cistern, which, for those that don't know, collects rainwater off the gutters for drinking and showering and everything else. It was connected to county water, but you still had that, and it had a very big concrete front porch. that was still reusable. We were rebuilding on that foundation. Well, county code enforcement gets out there when this contractor's taking apart and just barely starting. And what are you guys doing? Well, we're rebuilding this house. Well, you can't do that. Well, why not? It's too close to the road. Give you a backstory here. Good grief, this was probably in the late 40s to early 50s. My great-grandfather, who I never met, drove a school bus, parked his bus at his house. The county wanted to widen and move the county road that went to his driveway. They needed a piece of his property in order to do this. So he made the arrangement to give them the property in exchange for them making the property a county road. Which meant that his driveway was county maintained at this point. So they would come out and re-gravel it, grade it, put oil on the gravel so it wouldn't kick up a ton of dust. They've since chip sealed it, which I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that is the nicest type of gravel road that you can have. It's still a county road. But they said it was too close, that the house set too close to the road. The house was built in 68. The original house was built in 68. And the only thing that you can get to at the end of that road is my house. There's nothing back there for the public. You can't get anywhere else. You can't get to someone else's house. You can't get to another county road. You can't get to anything. The county road dead ends at my house. They said that the house sat too close to the road. It had to sit 50 feet back, according to new code enforcement. So we had to have a special hearing in order to get an exception to this rule. So we go up to the local courthouse. There's a board of 3 idiots. Well, 1 idiot, 2 decent enough guys. And they start going through, well, why is this what it was? Well, they made assumptions about how much it would cost to have the foundation that we already had, how much it would cost to have the cistern, and what percentage of the house was total loss in monetary value. And I'm not a violent person, but I've never wanted to break a 70-year-old's nose before or since then. But I wanted to do it that day. Because I'm just trying to rebuild a house so that my mother will have a place to live, so that I will have a place to live outside the city. And it's family property. The house my family had been living on that property for 100 years at this point. I'm just wanting to rebuild the house. Well, they're saying that I might have to demolish what we've gotten done so far and move the house back 50 feet, which I did not have the money in my current construction loan approved to do by any stretch of the imagination. And the homeowner's insurance money had already been spent at this point on getting the house dried in. Again, not trying to sound condescending, but in case you don't know, dried in is basically where the outside of the house is finished and that's it. So the inside the house, it was just bare subfloor, bare studs. No drywall, no flooring, no electric, no HVAC, no plumbing, no finishing, no nothing. We had the house to that point when they were maybe not to that point, but we did not have enough money to start over and rebuild this house 15 feet further back. Well, two of the guys voted to give us the exception. The one dude that I wanted, I'm getting a phone call. I will be back maybe. If not, I'll just end this up. But, well, I'll be back.